So a little bit about the company first. It's a 20-year-old company and has been around Scandinavia for 20 years. It's only been here in North America for 2 years, so we're kind of slowly getting into the market over here, but we have our own factory in Denmark. Everything is still produced in Denmark, which is great.
Yeah.
One of the main things I want to start talk about is, especially here in California, is like the indoor climate label, which is a big thing. So everything that is in the product is like a natural, comes from natural products. So there's no harm to be made to yourself, your kids, your dogs and pets and everything like that. So you can surely sell all of these products as like eco-friendly. The only thing is with the fabric cleaner and the fabric protector, one of the only reasons why we can't have that on here is that it's an aerosol, and then there's a tiny bit still of chemicals in it. You guys know you used to have the Scotch guarding, right?
Yeah.
On the fabric. This is just a good version of that. Not as many chemicals at all, just a tiny bit, because you need that to create that invisible barrier.
Is it a butane based?
Yeah, so
protector, at
so like everything has been tested to the laws of like North America, but also to the laws of California. So otherwise we couldn't be able to bring it in at all.
Yeah.
And if any client would have like questions regarding what, like, we'll never know exactly what's in it. That's only one person that knows what's in it. It's like Coca-Cola. You don't know like the receipt of the product, like what's exactly in it. But it has been tested, and if a client wants like safety data sheets where it shows like what lab tested it and what's like the production and everything of it, we can get these things going.
Okay.
So that's good. Let me start talking about the cleaner here for wood and the wood oil. So in general, we always want to try to sell the product as a combination, so as a pair. If you want to sell only one of them, or if the customer only wants one of them, then it's the wood oil you go for, because the cleaner kind of takes out the moisture of the wood. Again, coming back to what type of wood, you can use it on any type of wood, like if it's oak or if it's walnut or teak. That's all good, because there's no coloration in the oil, so it's just a natural color. You can use it on butcher blocks, and like it's friendly for that as well. So what you want to start with is the wood cleaner. Of course not, if you have a new table you don't need to clean it, but you want to use the wood cleaner first here. So the way you do it is shake it. And then I like to use those sponges here. You can use like a lint-free cloth if you wanted to, but I think these ones work perfectly fine. And you just take a little bit, pour it on it, and then you go with the grain, so you can see how that kind of foams up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the soap getting into the pores of the wood here. You let that sit for about 5 minutes or so, and then you wash it off with some lukewarm water, and then let it dry. And what it does is it takes the grease out of the wood, and like, you know, we have those coffee rings or whatever is in there, they take that out as well.
Oh, nice.
And what you want to use it for, it's very important, it's only natural and oiled finishes. So this SCOBY table has a lacquer on top. It wouldn't make sense to use it. Just stays on top and just gets greasy. So in reality, you don't really have a lot of furniture that still have that, but you still have some SCOBY. I think you have some outdoor teak as well.
We do.
So
that would be good for the outdoor.
Yes, as well. So that's
Nice.
great. And of course, you still have a lot of clients that come back that probably previously bought some teak, or
Yep.
and they still buy teak oil. So
Indeed.
it's a great oil. But even like if people, like, you can use on boats, whatever kind of surfaces, an open teak, walnut, whatever. Great product though. We'll go and show you the oil here. So the oil, after we've cleaned it, we want to oil the table to kind of moisturize it again. So the oil is kind of the protection on the wood. So what you want to do, again, the sponge, put a bit on this. And then you want to go with the grain again. You can see how it really turns out nice and shiny, and this will stay until it's dried. But you can do it for the looks of it, but mostly you do it so it protects the wood. So what it does, it absorbs into the wood, and when the oil absorbs, it makes it like that. Let's say you spill red wine on top of a table. If there's enough oil in it, the red wine will actually stay on top and don't go into the pores of the wood, so you can just wipe it off. If it's a dry table, it'll just kind of sink in immediately. So it's very important that, especially if you buy a new table, that you want to oil it like straight away when you get home. And you might want to do it 2 times just because it might dry out that fast. But we say every second month or so would be good to do. But great product. And a good way to test it is to take a little bit of, you can take a tablespoon of water to put on top, and if it just goes into the wood like quickly, it's dry, and then you give it some more oil. So that's a good way to test it. Okay, let's go over to the leather conditioner and cleaner. Again, we want to try to sell them as a pair, but if you sell one, sell the conditioner, because like it always works, it always gives it moisture. Cleaner is pulling the moisture out of the leather, so you want to do this. We always say, if you get a new, let's say you get a new stressless chair, sofa, you want to condition it right away. Same with the table, it kind of can be dried out in the containers and all the wrap it's in. So you want to do that. And also, because like, let's say you have like really dry skin, you see how easy it scratches, right? So same with the leather, it scratches way easier. If you have a dog that jumps up there and it's dry leather, it just, if you use the conditioner regularly, it's not as sensitive to it. Also, you know, with the headrests for guys, bald guys especially, have a lot of oils coming out there. And so if you do that regularly, like use it there, you won't get these stains there, and the leather won't crack. Like it will maybe in 10 years, but it won't do it the first 5 years, right? So it gives it an extra couple of years for sure in the lifespan. So that's a great way to kind of sell the product to the end consumer.
That's a great one.
Because that is a huge issue, always has been. The way it works, leather cleaner again, shake it. And this leather is a very open-faced leather. The one I use here is an aniline leather, which you have a lot of in the store as well. So I was just demonstrating on this. These things go a very long way. Like they can last you for 2 years or something on a stressless chair if you sell it. So what you want to do, kind of just put it on there, circular moves, and then it also foams up a little bit because of the soap. But what this leather actually does, that's the reason why I'm showing this, is that it kind of, you can see the coloration changes. So it gets a little bit darker, and that's because this is an open-faced leather, and then it kind of changes the color a little bit in the beginning, but it comes back to the normal once it's dry. But it's very important you say that to the customer, because they'll be on the phone freaking out like, what's happening, I didn't buy this for this. So no worries, it will come back to its original color. And this one you let sit for about, it usually takes about an hour to dry all the way through, depending on where it is in the room. But once the cleaning is done, then you go into the conditioning product. So the leather conditioner that we have is a little bit thicker than the ones you'll be used to. There's more wax in it. That's also why it's great for wax pull-off leathers, which there's not many in the world that actually do condition these kind of leathers, but we have a great conditioner for that. Again, circular moves, and then I'd go circular first, and then I kind of spread it out like this way. Spread it out nicely until it's not, you don't see the white anymore. But this is a great way to protect like your leather furniture. It's again, it does get a few more years out of the product, and it kind of reduces scratches and all these type of things on it. So yeah, that's those two products.
Beautiful.
And actually, the way that I used to show this one, still do, but so I put it on my hands. It's kind of a lotion. It's just when you do it in front of the customer, it shows like, yeah, it's like eco-friendly and no smell to it, and you get really soft hands. I do it 5 times a day. You put it on your hands and you like do it on the massage it into the leather. Actually, the best way to do it, to be honest. I mean, some people think it's weird, but it's actually a good way to get around into every kind of. There is.
I get that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so those cleaner and conditioner, they're good for pigmented leather,
Any type of
aniline,
yeah.
full aniline,
It's been
wax.
tested on
Beautiful.
anything. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, there's not many that have done all the like that testing out there, so we've come pretty far with the product. We'll go to the last 2 products here, the fabric cleaner and fabric protector. The fabric cleaner is a spot cleaner. Sorry about that. So it's especially for any food that you consume or beverage that you drink. That's what we've tested on. Lots of people ask about like fluid from body fluids and stuff. Well, it might work, but we haven't tested it for it, so don't kind of mention it, I would say.
Got it.
But the way that you put it on, it's like you go quite close to it, and then it'll come up like this, foamy. And then I just use my fingers is actually the best way to get it out, like, because again, it's a natural product. So you just use your fingers and get really into the stain. Let it sit for a couple of minutes and then take a damp cloth and wash it out with some water. And do that. It usually takes 2-3 times until you have, like, I've had red wine on my carpet, which I got out after 2 times. So it's a fantastic product if you have some staining in specific areas.
Nice. So you use that on carpet as well.
You use up any type of fabric. The only thing I wouldn't recommend is 100% linen, because 1 in a million will turn yellow. You can use it on your pillows. You use it on in the other store. I cleaned a piece of carpet for like rock for them, and they were like, "Holy, yeah." So I had like this massive stain. Yeah. No, but again, like when you sell these kind of products, you just like, yeah, well, everything that it works for, you can put into the sales pitch, because people will pick up on it. Like when you sell the wood oil, it's like, oh, you can do your boards at home and you can eat off them. It's good for that. So lots of these kind of things you want to mention. So great product. And there's for spot cleaning. Fabric protector, also fantastic product. If you have this product, you wouldn't need this, because if you protect your fabric first, you don't need the spot cleaner afterwards, because it just simply dribbles off. It's like a nano coated, like a jacket, right? Just
Wrapped around each fiber.
Exactly.
Type of deal.
So once you put it on, it'll be wet so you can see it, but once it's dry, it takes 2 hours to dry. 2 hours is very important to remember, because it might only take 1.5 hours, but a lot of people start using the chair after an hour and then it won't work. So I say 2 hours is usually good. And it's a fantastic product for dining chairs, especially like club chairs. I mean, this one is good for a 3-seater sofa, but it's a big piece that you have to cover. I'll show you how to use it. But on dining chairs, like for example, these fabric dining chairs here, you want to just cover the seat with it, and you don't get any stains
Use it
on
on
it.
synthetic leather?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
Yeah.
no, but I thought it just
No, that's good.
throw that
But
out.
any kind of fabric. And the way it works, I'll just put it over here. You might not be able to. I just want to show you. So what is very important is how far you put it away, because a lot of people think they can take it up here and do it, but it's just too far. It needs to be down here approximately.
Just 4 or 5 inches.
Exactly. And then you go one way and the other way again on the same spot. So it has double coating on it. So one way and then the other way again. Right? And then you just continue down. And once dried, it's a fantastic product. What I would say to you would be to
We should
have
get
some.
a sample that
Yeah.
we don't need anymore, which we have tons of those.
So if you have a sample like this, you'll just spray it and then leave it up at the counter, and then you have a little bottle of water or you have coffee and you just drip it. Every time a customer sees that, I'll bet it's a sale.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that's a frequently asked
that-
question.
it is.
To have good ventilation.
Exactly. You have to. So there's a bit of a smell to it, but you want to ventilate the room, but you can have your kids, pets, whatever in the room, like it's harmless. If kids bite into this after it's been applied, it's still
take
harmless.
it.
So it's stinky, but it's not poisonous.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this one has been sprayed with
Yeah,
this
I can smell this off.
with
I
like
can smell
100
it.
times
It's not,
with this
it's
one.
not terrible at all.
No.
And
But
can
you still
tell-
want to ventilate the
Of
room.
course.
Like something like this is perfect for it. Like all these, like chairs should have it. Like when you sell these type of chairs, expensive chairs, make sure you sell it.
People have accidents all the time.
I know. That's pretty much it on those products.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Wow,
That works pretty good.
that is nice.
Work really good.
Okay.
So we got the spray on
It
this
has
side,
only been a minute and it's already fully
and
soaked
on
in.
the opposite side, this
It
is
hasn't even been a minute.
100% polyester.
Right. It hasn't even been a minute. Because it takes a couple minutes for you to go get a thing.
Let's see.
Look at that.
Let's see what happens when you blotch it.
Okay. Blot the stain lightly.
Wow.
Damn.
Bowser.
Dang.
Sold to the man with 4 children.
Look at that.
Wow.
Look at
That's
that.
so cool.
Wow.
I need to
That's
get a camera
impressive.
guy.